Hey guys, and welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video I'm going to be playing through Roguecraft DX and discussing at the same time, yes, I'm going to try and do two things at once. I'm going to be discussing the save function sort of controversy, if you like. So initially when this game was released, it didn't have any save states activated or any saves of any type. Although Blaze have now updated it, and I think it's fantastic. They've added a suspended save function, which is a nice compromise, I think, although not everyone does agree with that. So what I'm going to do, play through it, and I'll give you my honest opinions as I try to play through Roguecraft DX on the Evercade VS. So try and mix it up a little bit. I'll probably play in the medium difficulty setting and maybe have a go at the other one as well if I probably die too quickly. But obviously before we get started, obviously it's about the save state function in the game, which in the initial release there was no save, on the Evercade release that is. So basically you had to play through the game and complete it in one sitting, and now that can take a couple of hours. It might take you longer if you try and go through it quickly. Or it could take a good 2-3 hours depending if you explore every nook and cranny. But obviously the save state, suspend save state thing that's been added now, it's a compromise of sorts. So basically you press the suspend button and it goes out to the main menu like this, and you then get the resume function here on the game. Now that will remain there until you activate it again, and once you've activated it again, that will obviously go away until you use the suspend function again wherever you end up in the game. So it's a compromise, it's not a save state. I know that's a little bit frustrating for some. I think a lot of people would love an actual save state where you can just save the game wherever you like. And I get it, I was actually kind of frustrated as well when the game was also released and I had my review copy. And when you're trying to obviously sort of create a video for your review copy, you want to perhaps try and get as far into the game as possible, or at least get somewhere into the game, which means I would utilise the save states, and then when I come to editing the video I would sort of jump into that without having to sit for an hour or two trying to get to certain points in the game. But without the save states I really couldn't do that, so there's only so much you can actually play through the game. And I did do a live sort of stream on it, and I actually got quite far, but that was after me pretty much playing the game for a good 3 or 4 weeks beforehand. But yeah, that save state, I get it. I get why it wasn't included, because for me, I think the game would have been too easy. You would have finished this perhaps in an hour or two, and that was it. You may not even go back to the game, and that would be a massive shame. And I don't think that's what the obviously the creators of the game wanted. They wanted people to maybe play this game how it was meant to be, so that perhaps you would gradually make your way through the game. You would get better as you went. Hopefully, you would obviously learn the different strategies that you need to use to get further in the game. Yet, you'll probably get careless. I know I play this game quite often and I get very, very careless. Especially when you're playing the harder difficulty level, you have to be maybe a little bit more careful. But you need to maybe adopt different strategies when you get to the sort of harder difficulty levels. Like you can maybe try your best to avoid the monsters rather than try and kill them. I'm obviously making a total mess of this. Oh, I need the key, that's why I can't go through. Trying to do the game differently. But yeah, I think I definitely agreed with them not including the save states initially. So I was absolutely fine with that. But then, obviously, the game gets into people's hands, and you kind of get to the point, think, it's not really ideal to sit and have to play a game for maybe 2 or 3 hours without a save function, because if you leave the game, you're going to have to start from all over again, or leave your Evercade VS or Evercade EXP or however you're playing this game and just leave it on, which obviously isn't really ideal. So yeah, the suspend function I think is a very good compromise. It meets somewhere in the middle. I guess there's a lot of people still not happy. They feel as if they should get the game. They've bought this game, they should get to play it in the way that they should. But yeah, I get why they don't as well. So I understand people's frustrations with not having proper save states. Maybe we'll get them at some point. I know if you played this game, if you bought this game on itch.io, you could play this on an Amiga simulator, and you can use the save states that way. And that's how I initially played the game when it was released. and it obviously does help, but having experienced it like that, I know that I actually finished the game probably in a weekend, whereas no save states, I've been playing this game solidly for at least a month or two, and I've got good longevity out of the game, and I think that's the main point you have to get here. Would you rather actually get your value for money and play the game for a longer period of time? Of course you would. Finishing the game on a weekend or in a couple hours and never going back to it, that is a total waste of money. And I think that having the save states would ruin that. And that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people may disagree with that. You just want the game with save states, and I get it. But I think it does benefit by not having those save states automatically included in the game. And it's just how it is. That's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure there's a few people definitely disagree and they want those save states. And maybe at some point down the line, a few months, a year, maybe they'll eventually add them. I don't really know. I hope they don't. I think it's better the way it is, having this suspend function, because basically you can jump back in, and it obviously creates that tension as well. Meaning, if you use the save states when you feel a little bit of, oh, there's a room, there's a lot of monsters here, I'm going to use the save states, you're just going to abuse those save states until you make progress, which takes away some part of how the game should be played. So you should be a little bit on edge, a little bit nervous, scared perhaps to get into some of the dungeons that have the monsters in them, that type of thing. And I think that's what the game is about. You have to understand how that works. I think they've definitely done the best thing. In my opinion, it's definitely how it should be. And adding that, I think Blaze adding the suspended animation sort of option, it does make a difference. It certainly is a compromise somewhere in between, and I'm quite happy that they've done that. I think Blaze are really good at listening to fans' feedback. They've always been very good over the years listening to that, and they don't always get it right. They've got it wrong many times, but they generally do listen to your feedback, and quite often they do try and add features into the games that you've been asking for. Come on, octopus thing. Oh, I'm going to die here. But anyway, that's my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. How do you feel about it? Would you rather there was no save function at all? Are you quite happy with the suspended function, or would you rather the full sort of save states added back in? I don't think that'll happen anytime soon, to be honest, but it's a nice compromise for now, and I quite like how it's been done by Blaze. I think they have to be congratulated on this occasion, at least, for doing this to this game, and it is a bit of a compromise. I think this game is fantastic, and for me it probably will be my sort of game of the year on Evercade. It really is brilliant stuff, and at the time of this video, it's something of an exclusive to have this DX version. Thanks again for watching, guys. Catch you again next one. Bye for now.